Hi book friends, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great in self-isolation. So speaking of self-isolation, since we've got so much more time to read on our hands, I thought I'd participate in this year's Owls Readathon hosted by G over at the Book Roast. I'll actually link her video down in the description box below if you want to check it out. She'll do a better job at describing how it works than me. But I just thought I'd share my Owls Readathon TBR with you guys today. So I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so let's jump into the TBR. For my career of choice for the Owls Readathon, I chose Spellmaker, which I think sounds awesome. I've got my notes here in case you see me looking down the whole time. And I'm going to read out all the subjects and prompts for you guys, and then I'll show you the books that I chose for those specific prompts. So, firstly, for the Spellmaker career, I have to do Ancient Runes, which is read a book with a heart on the cover or in the title. So, for this prompt, I chose Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. I know absolutely nothing about this book except that it's a horror, and it's got a Nirvana themed title, which is good, I guess. So yeah, this is for Ancient Runes. Next up, I've got Arithmancy, and the prompt for that was magical qualities of the number 2, balance opposites. So read something outside of your favorite genre. So my favorite genre is sci-fi and fantasy. So for this prompt, I chose historical fiction, and that is The Mercies by Kiran, Millwood, Hargrove. And this is basically set in Norway in 1617. And from what I know, all the men on this island die at sea, and it follows all of the women in this community after that tragedy and how they deal with it. So yeah, Arithmancy. Next up, I've got Astronomy, and that is night classes. And the prompt for that was read a majority of this book when it's dark outside. So since it's isolation and we can pretty much read 24/7, I just chose one that's been on my TBR, and that is Cloudburst by Wilbur Smith. I spoke about this one in my first ever booktube video, and I'm really excited to read this one because I'm really interested to see how this author tackles young adult / middle grade. So yeah, Cloudburst, and that is for Astronomy. So the next subject I have is Charms, and the prompt for that one was read a book with a white cover. And for that prompt, I chose Station 11 by Melissa and John Mendel. And I'm really excited to read this one because all of my favorite booktubers have read and loved this book. So super excited. It's also very short for a sci-fi / post-apocalyptic book. So I'm really excited to get into this one. And she's coming up with a new book soon. So let's see where that goes. So my next subject is divination, and for that prompt I had to assign numbers to my TBR and have a random number generator pick that. So I'll insert a little clip of that here, and then we'll come back and see which book I choose. Okay, so number 3 it is. Let's see which one that is. Okay, so that is Vengeful by V.E Schwab. I read and loved Vicious. I love superhero movies, love anything superhero related. So I loved Vicious. So I'm excited to read Vengeful. So that's divination. And then History of Magic is my next subject, and that is read a book featuring witches or wizards. So my book pick, it's not actual witches or wizards, but it's women suspected of being witches. And that is another historical fiction, and that is The Familiars by Stacey Halls. It follows, it's in Lancashire, 1612, and it's about women that are persecuted for being suspected of witchcraft. So this one sounds really interesting. So my last subject is transfiguration, and the prompt for that one is to read a book that features shapeshifting. So my pick for that prompt is Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. So I've had this one on my shelf since like December of last year, and I'm very intimidated by this one, to be honest. It's a fantasy based on African mythology, and there's been a lot of mixed reviews regarding this one, and it's mostly due to the violence that occurs in this book, so I can understand why. But I'm still really interested to read this. It sounds so interesting. There's lots of weird monster characters in here, lots of weird stuff that happens, and yeah, excited to get into this one. So that is my TBR for the 2020 Owls Readathon. I'm excited. This is my first time participating in the Readathon, and I hope you guys decide to participate as well, since we've got so much more time to read. So the Owls Readathon is starting on the 1st of April all the way through to the 30th, and I think that's more than enough time for me to get through this intimidating TBR, but let's hope. And I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy and enjoying your time in isolation, and I'll chat to you guys next time. Bye guys.